Hey guys, welcome back to the Birdie channel. And if you're a golf sim enthusiast like myself, you know how important it is to have a great projector that can help you recreate those immersive experiences that you're looking for when you want to play indoor golf. You may also be familiar with some of the challenges of setting up a projector, finding the right projector that will fit within your current space, and then making sure that that projector has all the features that you need in order to have the best picture possible when playing indoor golf. But that search might be over now, because today I will be reviewing the latest BenQ short throw projector for small to medium sized rooms and sharing how it performed in my, as you can see, not so typical simulator room. So depending on your setup, this projector might just be the solution for folks out there that struggle with setting up projectors and more specifically have tighter spaces when it comes to their sim rooms. If that's something that interests you, let's dive right in. So let's start talking about the dimensions for my rooms, just so you can have an understanding of why it's been so challenging for me to set up a projector here. So my room dimensions are a little bit odd. The height of my ceiling is roughly 8.5 feet, and wide is roughly around 12 feet. There's one big obstacle, obviously, that is a huge issue when it comes to my sim room, which is the door, right? Because of that door, and it's a door that's useful on my end that I need on a daily basis, I wasn't able to stretch my screen all the way out to the other side of the room. And so what it turns out is I have to have this roughly 4x3 projection size, which can make it very challenging to set up a projector under. Because of the impact screen size and the issue with the door, finding the projector that works with this room has been super challenging. The first projector that I had when I first originally built this room basically had one big issue, which was that no matter how far back or forward I moved it, the features on it would just not allow me to have the best fit across the projector and across the impact screen. And so you'd have a huge gap down here or maybe at the top, depending on how I wanted to set it up specifically for that day, where it just wasn't very immersive. Fast forward to last year, I upgraded the projector as well to the BenQ AH700ST. So that projector was also provided by BenQ, and I tested it myself in this room. And while it did provide me with a better solution by being able to almost entirely fill out the entire screen, it still had its complications. It still wasn't able to do some tight corner fitting. It was still unable to do some 2D keystoning. Well, today's model, this latest model that we're reviewing today, that is no longer an issue. As you guys can see, the entirety of my screen is filled up. Obviously, it looks black up top just because of the GS Pro logo, but this whole screen is set perfectly. So it feels very immersive. For once, it feels like I'm taking full advantage of my entire impact screen, which I truly, truly, truly love. But that's enough about my space. Let's talk about why this year's edition of BenQ latest projector is one of my favorite ones, and that I think that any golf sim enthusiast out there that's either A, building a sim room, or B, already has a sim room is going to take advantage of and want to have this in their room. So let's talk about what this projector has to offer. Number one is that it is a 4,000 lumen projector, which means that regardless of whether it's nighttime or daytime, this projector will give you plenty of light to be able to enjoy whatever you are doing, whether it's playing golf, whether it's watching TVs, whether it's playing video games. So no worries, whether it's daytime or nighttime, you will be able to enjoy this projector at any given time. Number two, because it is a laser projector, the lifespan for this thing is massive. It is rated for over 20,000 hours, so you can expect to have this thing for a very long time without having any issues of having to replace any lenses or anything along those lines, like some of those other projectors that are out there in the market. Like most projectors, it also comes with built-in speakers, so if you do not have surround sound within your play space, you will still be able to take advantage of the speakers coming from the projector directly to be able to enjoy any type of software sounds or music or whatever you like to do when playing around. And because a laser projector, as soon as you turn it on, you do not have to wait for the picture to come up. It comes up pretty quickly for you to be able to get up and running and start playing. But let's talk about the three key features that this projector brings into the market. One specific one that is new as far as I'm aware that I think most of you are going to love. So the first feature that I want to focus on is the auto screen fit feature. I'm not going to dive too much into it. I think other YouTubers did a much better job in their YouTube videos based on their play space that will dive into it, but I just want to give you a quick overview of how it works. So essentially what it is you set up your projector using BenQ's golf sim calculator. I'll again put a link on the description to where you can go and do that. But effectively, you give it all the dimensions of your room, So the height, the width of your room, how far your impact screen is from your tee box, so on and so forth. And it tells you exactly where to put the projector. What happens then is you effectively put the projector there, you click a button, and that button will automatically fit the entire screen to your picture. So no having to fiddle around and make any adjustments on corner fitting, no having to zoom in, zoom out, any of that stuff. It's for those folks that really want to have a simple, just hands-off experience when it comes to setting up a projector, which, as I mentioned earlier, is one of the biggest challenges when it comes to setting these things up. So the fact that BenQ came out with that feature and was able to do it very well, to the point where, again, you basically just set up your projector, you click a button, and it automatically just fills the entire screen, is amazing. The second feature that I want to chat through is the golf mode. So this is actually a feature that came out last year with their previous model, but this year they just amplified it even more. So effectively what golf mode is a picture setting within the actual projector that allows you to pick the right colors. So again, one of the most important things when it comes to projection, more specifically golf sim rooms, is you want to make sure that those colors translate from the software that you're playing, whether it's GS Pro, TGC 2019, etc., to the screen. This is exactly what golf mode does. It provides you with the best coloration when it comes to the software, so that when you're looking at it in your impact screen, the greens look greener, the blues look bluer, everything that you're seeing looks sharp and clear. And so that's something that us golfers really appreciate, because it does provide you with more immersiveness when you're playing. The other really cool thing about this projector is that it is compatible with BenQ's wireless dongle, which means that if you connect this to one of the USB ports behind the projector, you are able to AirPlay anything on your phone, ideally an iPhone or an iPad, to the projector and therefore to your screen. I think the only thing that I do want to caveat there, though, is that it does change your ratio. So when you project something with your iPhone, you are going to get that 16:9 ratio as opposed to the 4:3 that is being set up right now. Obviously, that's not really a huge breaker for me, but I just want to call that out just in case you're expecting to have the exact same ratio to fill up your entire screen when you are looking to share something directly from your phone. I know a lot of people use apps like SkyTrack and whatnot to be able to warm up or just for general practice. So something super cool that you can include, but again, does come with some caveats. Something that's pretty basic across most projectors, which is 2D keystoning, right? Everybody's familiar with this. You're able to go on here and basically just make adjustments to the screen based on where your projector lies. So if you need to make it go a little bit left, make it go a little bit right, obviously you're able to do that. And this allows you to ultimately get a little bit closer to where you want to be for when it comes to corners, which is where I want to focus on next. I think corners for this year's model is a massive improvement compared to last year's. And the reason why I say that is because last year's model, I think at most that I could get to when it came to corner fitting was roughly around 80 to maybe 100 decimal points, which effectively allowed me to make adjustments, but not enough to where I could take the entire screen, whether it was at the top or whether it was at the bottom. This year, they made massive improvements on that. And so now I don't have to move my projector forward. I don't have to move my projector back. I can effectively just use the corner fitting to be able to get the entire screen. And as you can see, as I mentioned earlier, now I'm able to basically just take the entire screen and make those finer adjustments so that I can make sure that I'm all the way at the top, I'm all the way at the bottom, I'm all the way in the left or the right to be able to see the entire screen. That's feature number one that I think is a massive improvement and that I think most golfers out there are really going to take advantage of. The next feature is something that I personally have never seen in any other projector. As I mentioned before, I've tested out a couple of them, including BenQ's in the past, and this is the first time that I've seen something like this. So let me paint the picture first. So there may be scenarios, right, where, for example, you've placed your projector wherever you need it to, but for some reason, maybe the corner fitting or the 2D keystoning is just unable to get to where you want to get to be able to have a perfect fit. Most of the time, what will happen is your picture will be too big, right? So for example, you might have images that are actually shown at the bottom as opposed to like right at the edge where the impact screen is, maybe at the top, maybe on the left-hand side. What blanking allows you to do is it allows you to effectively just cut that part of the picture with your projector. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. So for example, right now you are seeing the full Exit GS Pro player settings at the top, right? Let's just pretend that the image is actually above my impact screen, and you want to cut that out so that you are only covering your actual impact screen. Easy does it. So what you do is you go to menu, you go to image resizing, then you go to blanking, and then you can either go through all sides, but for now I'm just going to do one side, and then I go to the top. So if I start moving this to the right, you're going to start seeing that once I get to around 16, 17, give or take, the GS Pro logo is going to start getting cut out. So let me just kind of show you what that looks like. I'm moving it right now. We're at 10. Here we go. So now that we are 26, you're already seeing the actual word being cut out. I could keep going down lower and lower and lower as far as I want. I could basically go all the way down to where the full GS Pro logo is cut out. And basically what this is trying to show is that, like, as I mentioned, just assume that that was actually all the way at the top, but you want to be right where your impact screen actually starts or ends in this case. That's what you could do to just cut that out, right? So you no longer have to move your projector forward to make the picture, shorter, or I guess in this case, a little bit smaller. You're able to use blanking in order to make any of those finer adjustments that otherwise you would not be able to make without having to probably move the projector, or in best case scenario, be able to leverage the either 2D keystoning or even the corner fitting to make it work. So super cool feature. The fact that you're able to do this, as I mentioned, I haven't seen this for other projectors. This is new to me. Let me know if this is something you've seen in the past, but something that I think is going to be super helpful for most golf sim enthusiasts out there. One more feature I want to focus on before I let you know what this thing costs, and then maybe show you a couple of different holes of me playing around just so you can see the quality. I know the quality a lot of times doesn't come through the best when you're looking at a camera specifically, but it'll just give you kind of a brief idea of the colors and everything that this thing has to offer. The last thing though that I want to focus on, and I think is a super cool feature, that again I haven't seen in other projectors, is the autofocus feature. And so there's actually a button on your controller that if you click on that, once you have put your actual projector where it needs to go, you basically just click this button and it just starts autofocusing, right? Again, that photo / video is probably not doing the best of justice, but when I look at it here live, this thing is sharp. Like, it's super sharp, and all I had to do was just simply press a button. You could always make adjustments yourself, right? If I wanted to go back and make some of those finer adjustments on my end, I can, but honestly, this thing does such a good job at just like autofocusing already that it's not necessarily needed. So rather than having to go, and in the past you'd have to go into your actual projector, touch up the lens, move it around. For me, my projector happens to be in an area where I can access it pretty quickly, but for some folks it might be in the ceiling where you need to have a ladder or something along those lines. So it could be a little bit annoying, but with this, that goes out of the way. Simply just click the button, it auto adjusts for you, it auto focuses it, and then you're good to go. Super cool. So the last thing that everybody's wondering, right? How much does this thing cost? Is it going to break the bank? And honestly, I don't think so. I think for what you're getting with this projector, the price point of $18.99 is pretty solid, honestly, for a projector that can, 1, auto screen fit, 2, autofocus, 3, has all the different features to be able to make those finer adjustments they need to make, whether it's blanking, whether it's that corner fitting, whether it's that 2D keystoning. This thing is great for the value. It's obviously a short throw, so again, you have that massive lifespan of 20,000 hours, it's 4,000 lumens. There's just so many things packed into this thing that make it worth the price point compared to some of the other projectors that are out there that are also short throw that might come at a premium. So I think you're getting a lot for what you're paying. The dongle is a separate add-on purchase. I'm not entirely sure how much that costs, but I would imagine it might be under $100, give or take. So overall, I think the price point is pretty attractive. If you're looking for a new projector or in the market for either an upgrade or maybe just starting out with, developing your sim room and you're looking into something, I think this is a no-brainer. As I mentioned, my room setup is very odd with the door on the left-hand side, with all the different things going on in my room, that if your room is something similar, I would highly recommend this projector. I think you're going to be super happy with it. And I think BenQ does a great job at supporting as well. The golf sim calculator that allows you to really lay out exactly where your projector needs to go so that you have the least amount of issues is fantastic. And then on top of that, their customer service is second to none. So highly recommend on my end. I think if I were to formally make a purchase to get this projector, I would do it, with, out of question. I think it's great, and super excited to be trying out over the next couple of months, seeing how it performs, and then just, continue to play. So with that in mind, I am going to play a couple of different holes here for reference, just so you can see what the projector looks like. I'm going to go ahead and turn off all the lights. I had to leave some of the lights on just so you can see my face, hopefully. But I'm going to turn everything off just so that you're seeing the actual screen. And then, yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions, thoughts, concerns. Feel free to, drop a comment below. I'll try to answer everything that I can. But yeah, super cool review, super cool, product that you can get your hands on right now. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. Thanks, guys. So we are playing Norwegian Lights by Greg McDonald. I think this is a golf course that just released pretty recently on GS Pro. I will say this is probably one of my favorite ones. It seems to be like a link style golf course, but the views on this is awesome. You can actually see the northern lights out in the back. I don't know if you guys can see that on the screen or not, but super cool setup. We are playing it as a par 3, so let's try to hit this close in there, see what happens. It's all good. Fading a little bit. Not enough. We are 10 yards from the hole. See if we can sneak one into the gimme range and get out of here with a par. That might be a little long. Nope, we're good. All right, getting out of here with a par. One more hole to share here. This is, I believe, is the Swiss Pines, also by Greg McDonald. Guy does just fantastic designs for golf courses. Let's see how far this is here. 94 yards. Actually, that's probably more like a little 52 than it is anything. All right, see if we can get in there close. We're tracking right at it. Come back. Let's try to get out of here with another bird. Looks like it's not really breaking, so I'm just gonna go right straight at it. Sorry, I gotta check to see the distance here. 22. Just short. We're gonna get out of here with the par. Again, I do want to thank the BenQ team for sending over this latest projector. Super excited to test it out. It's great so far. Can't wait to see what you guys think of it. And if you guys do end up purchasing it, make sure you drop a comment below and let us know what you think. Thanks, guys.